Happy Saturday. Welcome to Strolling with the Orchids. So let us start with what is going to be a first time bloomer for me. For those of you who missed my post, my Neophonetia falcata, aka Vanda, is going to bloom for me. This will be my first time to get one of these to bloom. This is the first one that I've ever gotten. And the fan that she is going to bloom off of is the one that came and was very tiny. Can't find one in comparison. But as you can see from the tag there, I got her back in January of 2021. And she has been in this setup particular since September. Nope, I lied, June of 22. But look at that. Loving it. Someone did ask what variety she was. She just came as a Vanda falcata. I put Neophonetia in parentheses, so once she blooms, we'll see. It may turn out that it is just a regular old Vanda falcata, Neophonetia, however you want to call it. And we have a flower coming on our Hungshen red apple, I think is how you say that. And the reason I know that that is going to be a spike is, one, it is a much different color than this one, and it's rather firm. So that's how her spikes start. And then the black pearl here, I believe that's the black pearl. Yes, the black pearl is coming right along. I will start watering her more frequently. I know I should probably wait, but she's not a very strong plant, and I don't care if she blooms. I want to push this growth to get as big as it can, so next year possibly we'll get a bloom. My Leodora here, I believe, is on her way out. The scent is not quite as strong, and her sepals are starting to lean back here. What else is going on over here besides the cherry, baby? Look at that. Isn't that just, let me just zoom in on one of those blooms, if it'll focus. Isn't that just gorgeous? And it does have that sweet vanilla smell. Now, my son said that he detected a fake coconut smell, like the coconut oils that you get in hair products. Everybody detects scent differently, I guess. Look at those. And she's got more branches this year than she had last year, but her flowers are more spaced. Last year they were a little tighter, and they're more spaced this year. So not sure what's going on with that. Either way, she did bloom again for us this year. And her 3 growths that she's got are steadily getting larger. And I did move my Lycaste over here. The Leonis, I'm going to show you in a minute. I did move her because her leaves are kind of dark, and was doing a little bit of research on her, and everyone else's that I've seen have the lighter leaves, so I don't think it's getting enough light. And these guys back here, the Baruna Green crossed with Centurium, something like that. I don't know where the tag is, but all of the growths that are down there are now starting roots. So I think that set of pieces is going to be just fine. The Miltasia, I do have her kind of strapped, not very tightly, but just enough to keep her from coming into the living room. And I think that's all that's going on over here. This Rotaganaga that's on the mount that I said I needed to take it off because every time I water, some of the bark from the mount comes off, is, if you can see it, I'm sure you can, growing a nice new growth. I was going to wait for some more root growth, but I think I'm just going to bite the bullet, save what roots I can, and put her on a mount. Or I might do what Nina did and just like maybe cut this board in half and then place this onto another mount. I haven't quite decided yet. And still nothing else going on with our sheath over here on the Sagric Wax Silk Ball. Hippodamia is doing well, but it is time. We have roots coming on the Lois McNeil, and because she is a monofoliate and bifoliate type Cattleya, I'm going with the Cattleya bifoliate rule where they like to dump their roots. So I will be taking the media out, cutting this, hopefully moving it forward to give her more space to do what she needs to do. So keep a lookout for that video. I'll probably do that either after this video or tomorrow. And then the Horse Maxima crossed with the Pontonera Dick Smith. That new growth is coming right on along. What else? Oh, look at this. Look at the roots coming off of this one, as well as that nice new growth. That's the white Cattleya. And then, of course, the yellow bird has decided to bloom. Let me move these stakes out of the way so you can see. And we have a third bloom off of that one spike. Now, last year, I did get her to bloom. She bloomed 2 of them. 1 of them didn't look too well. This year, she's got 3 on this spike. And they smell lovely, lovely at night. Not strong, not a strong scent, but lovely nonetheless. And I love that they're color changers. They start off with this kind of a pinkish red, and as it opens, it has that pinkish red. And then after a day or so, it gets that nice greenish yellow to it. And let me move my stool out of the way. Oh, I have my stool here for a reason. Hold on, guys. Let me zoom you back out. Up here, look at her. Look at Summer Rose to show it off. And then Tai Shing Fly Eagle, of course, has 2 buds, or 2 blooms on that side, 2 blooms on this side. And then I was looking this morning, she's got a 3rd one she's going to bust out there, as well as working on a new leaf. Hieroglyphica is going to have, I was hoping that the bloom on the left, the bud on the right was going to be open for today, but I guess we'll just have to wait. And then she has another bud developing there. My Bellina Carula is finally doing something. She finished the leaf on the left and has another one coming in. And then Phalaenopsis abundensis is, I think, trying to work on a flower bud, but nonetheless is working on a lovely new leaf. And Inscriptiosis has dropped all of her blooms except for those 2. And I let, on my summer phals, I let the blooms just fall. On my hybrids, I tend to pinch them off. I don't know why I do that. And Yapon Evergreen is going to be gracing us with 4 beautiful blooms, and that's why I have it turned around this way so we can see those when they open. Now, let me go down here. Oh, here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So that back there, of course, is my soft clouds, and as the flowers are drying off, I just pinch them off. Whereas with the summer bloomers, I let them do their own thing. I did move my Angraecum down here just to see if I can get her leaves to brighten up. So she finished that leaf on the left, and as you can see, has a nice new one coming up there. And then the Savory Orange here, if I can get her out and turn her around. So that leaf that she is starting right there, well, she was starting that when I got her, as well as that spike, but each one of them are now starting to go into motion, so that is great. And I just love, oh my gosh, I just love this. I'm hoping to keep that tight pattern by facing it back and forth as I need to. Anything else? Anything else? Oh yeah, let me sit on the floor. Hold on, if I don't fall. Sorry for all the jiggle jaggles, but I got some stuff to show you down here. So this piece here has a new growth on it, and it's the same dendrobium as the one we saw on the other shelf. And that towel I have there because I thought I let her drain enough before I set her back into her tray. Apparently I didn't. So I have this here just to keep it from getting too far over. And I know my Leopoldii seedling looks really sad, but we actually, let's see if I can do this with the, just the hot here. Let's see. There we go. So we have that new growth right down there. And then she has another new growth right there off to the left next to the leaf that's senescing that is growing roots. I think that is amazing. So I guess I'll have to wait a few years before she really establishes herself. But Vendopsis gigantea here is I say really growing that leaf. It is slow, but there's movement. And then, of course, she's just keeps putting roots into a le pot. And then the BLC, let's see if I can read the whole thing. BLC Birdkin Wonder Lakeland crossed with LC Spring Squall crossed with BC Mount Hood Mary Pink with yellow throat has not just the growth that she came with, but let me see if I can zoom in. I was looking at her this morning, giving her a little drink. Look at there. We have us another growth coming right there. If I can, let's see, can we move that out of the way a little bit? There we go, because it looked like it was part of the root, but we have a nice new growth coming right there as well. So I think she's going to be fine, as well as, look, we have new roots. Now, those aren't old roots that have started extending, and the reason I say that is because of how white above they are. Isn't that just lovely? And then my Paphiopedilum here, Nivium, look at those fans just holding their coffee and drinking away. 3 fans, loving it, loving it. Now the Falcata I'm a little concerned about because she looks a little dehydrated. Her color doesn't look good. She does have that one root. So I let her dry out unintentionally, and I think that has affected her. So I think I need to keep a better eye on her. And then look at Gigantea's leaf compared to the older leaf. And then let's pull out Saruna and see what she's been up to. She needs watering next. So when the Saruna leaves open, if there's going to be a bloom, to my understanding, it's already in there. So she is a young plant. I am not expecting her to bloom, but it would have been a nice surprise. And then same thing on this side. She's still working on that growth there, and I don't see anything else. But the fact that she did 2 growths for me this year is a good sign, because the last 2 years she's only done 1 growth. This year she's done 2. So hopefully next year she'll do 2, and then eventually I will get to see those little tiny blooms. And I know people call it a Cattleya, but it's a Sophronites. And let me take this mount down real quick so I can show you something. So we were looking and we were watching that growth right there. What I wasn't watching was that growth that's popped right there. I saw it sticking out, and as I was taking off the sheath, because I think I got some water in this one, that's where that rust comes from as she was developing. So I have to be super careful with this one. But look at all the roots that she's put on since I've added more moss to her. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce that after 2 years of waiting for our speciosa to do something, she is finally working on a spike. So excited about that. Of course, it'll be a few months, possibly even next spring before we see anything, but the fact that she's working on it is a good sign. There we go. Almost dropped it. And then this again, what a sorry excuse for a growth, considering her last 2 growths were up here. So I'm not sure what I did this year that I did different in previous years, because she's been in this pot for almost 2 years now. Down here, got roots starting to grow on this one as well. This is the dendrobium that we're talking about here. All 3 of the dendrobiums that we've seen, and I'm pretty sure my bulbophyllum over there is DOD. And then that one is doing fine. I did cut the spike on the white Phalaenopsis that was right here, because I saw that she was starting on a new leaf, and I'd like her to concentrate on leaf growth, not necessarily the blooms. And then, of course, Miss Beautiful Lady here, Lucky Sun, she's getting ready to open up on her 2nd spike. And then I think I'm going to separate this keiki from the mama. I might do it this year. I might wait and do it next year. I haven't quite decided, but she's got plenty of roots that I can separate her and pot her properly. So I'm thinking I might need to do that. And then this is a no ID that she's just been taking her time doing nothing. And then finally, now she's got all these roots, aerial roots, and she does have some in the pot. She's grown 3 leaves for me since I've gotten her in 2019. I'm sorry, in 2020, May of 2020. So I'm not sure what she's going to be doing. And Looseberry, I did cut this spike. So far, nothing is going on with her except for lots of root growth. And let's just end where we began because I forgot to show you this. So I did move my terrarium from down there to up here because, as you can see, we are going to have some Macotes flowers. I think that is amazing because it took me off guard. I was down there, I was getting ready to add the water to it, and I was like, what in the heck is that? Thought it was like a mold or something, and then I realized it's a spike. Look at that. Is that not just gorgeous? Of course, I need to keep her in her environment, but let's just zoom in and look around. So we do have that one there. That is a baby of this one because I did not plant that one in there. It just showed up. This one here is getting a little squished in there, but that's all right. Then we have her. That's also a Macotes. It's supposed to be 2 different types. She's finally grown a leaf. And then my Retricala, my Harriella Retricala has lovely roots that we can see. And the leaves on this one are much bigger than the leaves that I have on the ones that are growing under the shelf. I need to find something to put right in this corner here. I did put my Tolumnia variegata in there trying to save it. Obviously, it is not there, so it didn't make it. Let me close that back up. And I also want to show this because I know when I first did this, a lot of people were saying that I was going to have problems because I didn't have the pebbles down here. And I was concerned about that myself. However, it is doing just fine. That is just soil with bark and pebble layers. So far, so good. Let me see, is there anything? Nope, I thought I saw a spike on the Retricala. But as soon as these open up, they're not that impressive. They're white. I just want to see if they'll open and how long they last inside of here. With that, guys, keep a lookout for the Falcata blooms, the Macotes blooms, the Hieroglyphica blooms, all the blooms, oh yeah, and the red apple bloom over there. Hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.